Welcome to online class. Let's begin today's class with joint stock company, which is the third form of the choice of ownership. Joint stock company is a legal entity which indicates an association of a people, whether natural or legal or mixture of both, with a specific objective. Company members share a common purpose and unite together, that is, they come together to achieve a common goals. Company is formed and registered under the Act. An existing company is formed and registered under any of the previous company's laws. Okay. The definition of the joint stock company is: a company is artificial person created by law having a separate entity with a perpetual succession and a common seal. See, from the definition it is clear that joint stock company are created in order to finance endeavors that are too expensive for an individual. If it is expensive for an individual to finance for the business, then the joint stock company is created. Okay, then this joint stock company is classified into two types, that is private limited company and public limited company. We'll understand these types one by one. The first one is private limited company. As the name itself suggests, a private limited company is a privately held business entity. It is held by private stakeholders, and the liability arrangement in a private limited company is that of a limited partnership, wherein the liability of a shareholder extends only up to the number of shares held by them. The shareholders cannot held liable beyond the value of their shares. Okay, next is public limited company. See, the public limited company is a separate legal business entity which offers its shares to be traded on stock exchange for the general public. Okay, we'll understand this in detail with the help of the characteristics of a company. The first one is formation with legal formalities. The formation and operation of a company requires to follow the company's formalities. A company must be incorporated or registered under the Companies Act of the country. Okay, next is membership. The minimum number of members required usually starts from 5 or 7, but it varies from country to country. Maximum is 200 in private and no limit in public companies. Okay, next characteristics is legal separate entity. Unlike a partnership, the company is different from the persons who constitute it. See, the section 34 and the subsection 2 says that on registration, the association of persons becomes a body corporate by the name contained in the memorandum. Okay, next is limited liability. The company being a separate person, its members are not as such liable for its debts. Hence, in the case of a company limited by shares, the liability of members is limited to the nominal value of shares held by them. Thus, if the shares are fully paid up, their liability will be nil. However, companies may be formed with unlimited liability of members, or members may guarantee a particular amount. In such cases, the liability of the members shall not be limited to the nominal or face value of the shares held by them. In the case of unlimited liability, companies' members shall continue to be liable until each rupee has been paid off. Okay, the next is transferability of shares. The shares of a company are transferable in the manner provided in the articles of the company. However, in a private company, certain restrictions are placed on such transfer of shares, but the right to transfer is not taken away absolutely. Okay, the next form of choice of ownership is cooperative organization. See, a cooperative society is a voluntary association that started with the aim of providing services to its members. It is a form of business where individuals belonging to the same class join their hands together for the promotion of their common goal, that is to earn the profit. Okay, these are generally formed by poor people or the weaker section of the society. Okay. See, the definition of the cooperative organization is: according to Cooperative Society Act 1912, a society which has its objectives the promotion of the interests of its members in accordance with the principles of Cooperation. See, the definition explains that it is a special type of society which is established by an economically weaker person for the betterment of their economic condition. Cooperative means to work together to improve their economic condition. Many business organization is established to earn a profit, but cooperative society has a motive to service to its members, that is service to the members of their society for a common welfare, but not to earn any kind of a profit. Okay. We'll understand this in detail with the help of the characteristics. Okay. First one is voluntary association of people. As I've told you, the membership of a cooperative society is voluntary and open to all adult persons having common interests. Any person can become a member of the organization, irrespective of their caste, color, and religion. Okay. Next is capital. The capital of a cooperative society is raised from its members in the form of share capital. As the share capital is not sufficient to meet its operational cost, it borrows loan from the government or the apex cooperative organizations. Okay, next is dramatic management, that is democratic management. The management of a cooperative society is done on a democratic line. The management is vested in the bands of a managing committee elected by the members. The general body of the members determines rules and the regulations for the management. The managing committee functions within the framework of the principles framed by the general body. Okay, next is government control. The cooperative organization are subject to the rules and regulation of the government because it is registered under the government's acts. Next is profit distribution as per law. The income of the cooperative societies is distributed among the members based on their capital contribution. Next is committee represents interest of all members. In a cooperative society, each member is given one vote, irrespective of the number of shares held by them. In this organization, nobody can control society based on their share capital. Okay. The next form of ownership is limited liability partnership. Okay. It is an alternative cooperative business form that offers the benefits of limited liability to the partners to organize their internal structure like a traditional partnership. A limited liability partnership is a legal body liable for the full extent of its assets. Okay. The definition is the LLP, that is limited liability partnership, is a separate legal entity, and while the LLP itself will be liable for the full extent of its assets, the liability of the members will be limited. Okay. Then we'll understand this with the help of the features. LLP is a body corporate. According to Section 3 of LLP Act 2008, an LLP is a body corporate formed and incorporated under the Act. It is a legal entity separate from its partners. Okay. Next is perpetual succession. See, the perpetual succession means, unlike a general partnership firm, LLP can continue its existence even after the retirement, insanity, insolvency, or even death of one or more partners. Further, it can enter into contracts and hold property in its name. Okay, that is called as what? Perpetual succession. Next is separate legal entity. Just like a corporation or the corporation or a company, it is a separate legal body. Further, it is completely liable for its assets. Also, the liability of the partners has certain limitations in their contribution to the LLP. Okay. Next is LLP agreement. An agreement between all partners governs the rights and duties of all the partners. Also, the partners can devise the agreement as per their choice. If such an agreement is not made, then the Act governs the mutual rights and duties of all the partners. Okay. Next is limited liability. According to Section 26 of the Act, every partner is an agent of the LLP for the purpose of the business of the entity. However, he is not an agent of their partners. Further, the liability of each partner has limitations to his agreed contribution to the LLP. Okay. Next is minimum and maximum number of partners. See, every LLP must have at least 2 partners and at least 2 individuals as designated partners. At any time, at least one designated partner should be resident in India. There is no maximum limit on the number of partners in the entity. Next is public enterprise, that is next form of ownership is public enterprise. These are the business that are owned and controlled by the government. It can be partially or completely managed by the central and the state government. The government can participate in economic activities through these enterprises of the country. Okay, and these public enterprises are governed by the board of governors rather a board of directors. Okay. Next is non-profit organization. These are types of organization that do not earn profits for its owners. Okay, all the money earned by or donated to a not-for-profit organization is used pursuing the organization objective and keeping it running and are tax exempt organizations. You can take examples of charitable institutions which do not serve the public for the profit making or for the objective of profit making. Okay, then the public services or any welfare organizations are the good examples for the non-profit organizations. Okay, with this we are done with the different choice of the ownership or different form of choice of the ownership. Okay, in the next class we'll look into the last topic of the unit 2.